Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, in this video I'm going to read some of you guys' comments. I haven't done this in a long time, but I always try to do this regularly. And of course, this right is going to be a big one mainly because the chapter actually does come out tomorrow and we did actually get the spoilers yesterday. But regardless, the first comment comes from my guy YSL. He says, maybe Cole will try to rampage the great nations or just Konoha to cause classic pain and destruction. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people have been actually saying this. There could possibly be a 5th Great Shinobi War in the actual future. I wouldn't necessarily blame Code for that at all, man, because we do understand as of right now, all Code wants for Kawaki specifically is of course to cause him pain. Now, specifically causing Kawaki pain could be a multifaceted thing. If Kawaki finds out that Code destroyed 4 other nations, one of which Kawaki did actually visit, the Mist Village, I'm pretty sure Kawaki would feel horrible. With these things, it makes it a bit more easier. Hypothetically, if Code has thousands of these things, he could possibly deploy thousands of these things in literally every single village at the exact same time, a bit faster than of course the Hidden Leaf Village can actually respond to these things. And I personally believe that that right there could actually be devastating to Kawaki's own conscience, mainly because in his mind, he is probably going to think he's causing deaths of thousands of people. Not even if Code actually wins those wars, that right there wouldn't even be the point, but just the mass casualties, I believe, would probably eat Kawaki up inside and of course entice Kawaki to actually seek out Code himself. One of the things that I definitely do have to point out, it's also possible that he just doesn't really try to go to war with these things. I personally believe, first things first, if he tries to go to war with the Hidden Leaf Village, it's probably not necessarily going to end very well. But also, he did actually say specifically that shrinking the 10 tails down is going to make them significantly more useful. One of the other things that I think is possibly a very good idea for Code, him potentially invading other planets and trying to plant god trees on those other planets. Him invading a planet by himself wouldn't necessarily be that big of a deal, man, because this is big Code we're talking about. He's literally stronger than Jigen, but it would be significantly easier if he had an actual army to actually pillage a bunch of planets to plant god trees on, to eventually get strong enough to actually go back to planet Earth, not only as an Otsutsuki member to actually know if he loves Ida or not, but also to be strong enough to beat a character like Damon. I think that right there is probably going to be one of his main goals, and honestly, that might even be the smarter choice for Code. Alright, the next comment comes from Code. He says, I think the creatures are as strong as Pain and maybe even Minato. I like it. I think this right here is going to definitely be a very big topic for the entire month until we actually do find out specifically how strong these guys are actually going to be. I think these things have to at least be stronger than the White Zetsus, period, point blank. One of the things that we do understand is that, hey, these things come from the 10 tails, and not only do they come from the 10 tails, Code also mixed in some of his chakra and iron from his own blood as well. So these things are probably going to be significantly stronger than the White Zetsus. By the way, imagine if Orochimaru got his hands on one of these things. Hypothetically, if Code actually does want to attack the Hidden Leaf Village with these things right here, we have to ask the question, like, are these things going to be stronger than regular characters like Choji? I think they have to be. Are they going to be stronger than characters like Kakashi? I think they have to be. I think honestly they'd have to be, just to cause an actual serious threat. They'd have to be. Are they going to be stronger than the character, probably not even in the Hidden Leaf Village, another Kage level character, Gaara? One of the strongest guys, one of the strongest non-god level guys, period, point blank, but one of the strongest guys in the whole entire Shinobi race. I think it's going to be close. They have to be at least very, very close to Gaara, in my personal opinion, for it to be a very, very big, serious threat, man, because we do understand that, hey, Boruto himself could probably take out like hundreds of these things by himself, Kawaki as well, Sasuke as well, Naruto as well. So I think for it to be a very, very serious threat, these things have to be significantly strong. If he just brings out a White Zetsu level army, my goodness, I feel sorry for my guy Code. Just another L after another L after another L. But the next comment comes from David Pacheco. He says, I hope Boruto leaves the village before the time skip comes. I'm not gonna lie, after the spoilers came out, Boruto going rogue never made any more sense. This right here makes a lot of sense. Momoshiki in the last chapter essentially came back, gave his regular doom and gloom speech, but of course gave more ideas and more reasons as to why it's going to be kind of doom and gloom. Boruto is going to lose everyone around him. Boruto is actually going to want to die. Boruto is actually going to willingly give up his body to Momoshiki, a bunch of things like that. And honestly, one of the things that we have been seeing from Boruto and Kawaki over the past couple of chapters is them essentially attributing all the problems in the Hidden Leaf Village to themselves. We understand what Kawaki has been going through for a very long time. He essentially thought that everything in the Hidden Leaf Village was his fault, and of course Naruto had to go up and actually talk him down from actually leaving the Hidden Leaf Village one time. Not only that, there's multiple times where Boruto himself literally tried to give his life, mainly because he possibly believes that with him dead, the Hidden Leaf Village is going to be a safer space. If doom and gloom legitimately comes, people in the Hidden Leaf Village start to die because of Boruto, it would make sense for Boruto to then want to leave the Hidden Leaf Village to potentially protect the Hidden Leaf Village. For example, a character like Code, he specifically says that he wants to cause a lot of harm to Kawaki. That right there entails his connections to the people in the Hidden Leaf Village. He potentially wants to kill Naruto because that will affect Kawaki. He potentially wants to kill Himawari, RIP, hopefully not, because that will affect Kawaki. If that is the case, Kawaki will understand that and separate himself from the people that he loves most to actually give the impression that he doesn't really care. I personally believe that Boruto could potentially go through the same exact thing in the future if not only Momoshiki, but things related to the Karma Seal starts to cause harm to people in the Hidden Leaf Village. ANG for Life says he feel a couple packs coming soon. I wouldn't necessarily rule that out. One of the things that a lot of people have been saying is that they feel like someone is going to die prior to the time skip. If that is the case, of course, packs are going to be coming soon. It's going to be inevitable. But I did recently make a video about who potentially is actually going to die in the future of Boruto. But with Momoshiki coming recently and essentially talking to Boruto, it makes me believe that a lot more serious and a lot more, let's say, close to home characters can potentially die. I'm still standing on the hill that Naruto and Sasuke are not going to die, but other people close to Boruto can possibly die. People that we haven't necessarily been talking about, people like Hinata Himawari, people like Shikadai, people like Mitsuki, people that are very, very close to Boruto. And I'm not gonna lie, if that is the case, we have to start looking and start thinking about things very, very differently, and not just the idea and the lens of characters that are actually in the storyline as of right now, like Shikamaru per se, or potentially even Delta dying again. Those are just surface levels. But if we peel it back and actually talk about the deaths that'll possibly really make Boruto want to leave, that right there is going to be very, very close to home and people that we haven't necessarily been talking about very much recently. The next comment says, I'm hoping Cole could absorb a few of his creatures in a heated battle with the leaf, and by doing so he could get some of the Ten Tails power in the right doses as he could control how much he absorbs. I think that would be epic and will boost his power levels. Definitely 1000%. A lot of people have been actually talking about a potential Jinchuriki code, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that stark, it doesn't necessarily have to be that like overt, but Code really absorbing power from the Ten Tails and potentially even making him stronger. The only point that I have against this is how much stronger would that actually make Code legitimate? Like, for example, if he even full-blown becomes the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, would that put him above a character like Damon? I'm not completely sure. If there was actually a 2v1 situation, he does have to fight against Kawaki and Boruto at their full power as Karma Seal's blaring, Momoshiki took over Boruto, everything. If Code actually does absorb the Ten Tails, would that then make him stronger than that pairing? I just don't know for sure. But we do have to point out, him absorbing the Ten Tails would probably be a very bad thing for his idea and his plan to actually build a god tree, mainly because now he'd possibly have to find a brand new Ten Tails. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. A bunch of very good comments. I'm going to try to do these things once a week, as I always say, but it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.